Citizencon is right around the corner, and before we settle in for our yearly hype fest and subsequent acceptance of disappointment, we're going to take a look at the latest update not even one full month after 320. It's time for Star Citizen Alpha 321. With all of the cool features from 320 unceremoniously dumped onto 321 and most of those not making it into this patch, this update seems to be just as much a set dressing as it is an update with content that will satisfy your unrelenting desires. So it's only appropriate to start with the most highly anticipated feature we've all been waiting for since CIG showed off those colorful animations in 2019. It's time for the incredible outlaw system of Pyro's jump point station locations. Now you can finally make your way to these familiar Lagrange point station designs anchored magically to massive volumetric clouds of dust. But rather than simply looking out the windows at those smoky backgrounds, you can swoop through the golden arches of a pathway to the non-existent jump point and admire the area that may one day contain our portal to new worlds. But who needs new worlds when you have new missions in that wonderful playground that we've thoroughly explored for only 5 brief years? The first set of missions lets us finally revisit those majestic floating Crusader platforms that have now spawned all the way around this massive pink cloud planet. Now you can visit the same architecture and rooms you've seen thousands of times in Siege of Orison, but from a new perspective because they're in a completely different place. After you've rescued Orison from this raid by murdering a bunch of guys that were just walking around or standing in an elevator 1,000 miles away, you can venture from your overground facility to an underground facility with the all-new Retrieve Consignment missions. Here you'll venture into that classic facility one floor under the ground with a new task to undertake. Whether you have the legal or not so legal version, you'll have to fight your way in and track down a code from the pockets of an unfortunate victim. After a quick flick of the wrist, you can take that code to a box machine that will slowly lift all of your desired crates from the ground and give you the opportunity to find creative ways to move them out the door. But your inability to carry more than one medium-sized box at a time or have something as basic as a cart isn't your biggest problem. Enemies will slink out of their cozy closet abodes and come to shoot you in the face at some of the worst times to get shot in the face. You'll also have a mission to once again steal evidence from the previously revamped security post Correa, which may be different from the previous steal evidence task, but I don't know how. But missions are only a small part of this game. The real players know that the most important and rewarding aspect of Star Citizen is collecting all of the ships and looking at them with pride. That's right, now you have one more trophy to add to the fleet with the Crusader A1 Spirit. This version of the trio of Spirit variants doesn't take advantage of the cargo space like the C1 or the elaborate first-class passenger accommodations like the E1. Instead, it uses its sleek aerodynamic design to poop out 8 bombs on any unsuspecting target. You may be aware of its bigger brother, the Crusader A2 Hercules, and its role in ruining Jumptown for everyone. The A1 Spirit allows you to be more tactical with your horrific destruction while also providing a smaller footprint appropriate for the more introverted sadistic pilots. You can still bring a friend along to man a turret that does the equally cool and impractical slide from the ship's back to the ship's taint to protect both the top and bottom of this moderate-sized hull. It also features 2 bed cubby holes for tandem sleeping fun and embraces the unlimited efficiency of the fan-favorite shitter shower. Those aren't the only new features in 321 though. They also updated the ground vehicle handling and physics system so that when you hit the thousands of random obstacles all over the tank battlefield, you won't do a 720 kickflip nose grind into the lower atmosphere. You may remember that they did this in the last update, and they did, but now they've done it again, and this time it actually worked. There is one detail that Chris Roberts snuck into 320 when I wasn't looking, and that's the Star Citizen birthday event, The Hunt. In this Charlie and the F8C Factory adventure, you'll enjoy the pleasure of having all of the loot tables in the game filled with dozens of golden tickets for you to discover. These can be in any crate, box, backpack, body, or the armor of downed enemies, so CIG has finally made it pay off to play pocket pool with your opponents. Once you've plucked out one or several golden tickets, you can take them to a rental kiosk to unlock not only a free 24-hour rental, but the incredible prize of being allowed to spend up to $300 on the coveted Anvil F8C Lightning. This powerful heavy fighter features 8 guns, 8 missiles, 2 size 2 shield generators, a huge health pool, and high maneuverability, all designed to be worse than its military older brother to fit the gentler needs of a civilian market. But if you don't have an extra $300 lying around and still want this ship in your hands right now, you can always take your chances participating in the actual hunt part of this hunt event. If you're somehow lucky enough to be online and on the right server at the right time, you may discover a developer has spawned in with a platinum ticket, and if you track them down and pry it from their cold dead fingers, you'll be able to race back to a ship store and turn it in for your very own permanently attributed F8C Lightning. Of course, everyone will now be able to murder you for the same enticing reward, so you might want to make it a quick journey. While I never saw this event happen and only heard rumors of other success, I will get to see Citizencon, where I'll hear rumors of upcoming Star Citizen success. Will those finally include a real update for Squadron 42? Will welcome to Pyro mean Pyro is actually welcoming us to it? Or will we once again cruise into another year, drifting aimlessly around our massive single-system sandbox shouting into the void? Star Citizen Alpha 321, finally paving the highway to Pyro but forgetting to finish the off-ramp. If you'd like to see more information about previous updates in an almost informative way, check out my other Star Citizen videos here.